Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Inside CG. Today I'm joined by Coach Brian, Coach Tim and Coach Ricky. And today we're recapping 8 fights over the weekend at Road to Legends, where we had 8 of our warriors stepping into center ring for their some debuts, some returning to the ring, and we're going to recap some of the things inside the brains of these people sitting before me, and just play by play. Hope you enjoy this episode. Oh, that's gold. Welcome, boys. Long night, 21 bouts. How you feeling?
Just coming good now.
Yeah.
My throat's a bit sore.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I lost my voice and I'm pretty sure I passed out before my head hit the pillow that night.
Look, don't get me wrong. I really take my hat off to the guys who are working really hard to provide a platform for the future generations, but fuck, that was long. I think we got home went to bed at 1:30 and my boy woke up at 6. There was no sleep to be had. I asked Whitney, I was walking around, I was like a zombie. She's like, are you all right? I'm like, no, I need some sleep. I feel like I've got a 6-month-old baby again because like I was doing shit drunk. But let's just dive straight in today. And who wants to start us off today? Tim, you had the most fighters. Let's start off with you. Tim, talk us through, who did you have? How was their prep leading up into it? And what are your thoughts overall?
So I had 5 on. There was Erica, Kaz, JD, Will, and Benjamin. So I think they all got matched about 8 weeks out. Really good when there's 5 of them doing it together because they just help motivate each other. I think their prep overall was awesome. And yeah, they put on a show on the night.
And by the way, the way you're holding that microphone, these forearms is looking good, my man. Very
Thank
good.
you.
And followed secondly by Brian. Tell us who you had and how's the prep for it, and what's some thoughts?
Yeah, we had 2 on. So I had James Sims and Tim Oringer. Can't really pronounce it. It's German.
He's in Germany today, isn't he?
Yeah, he flew the next day.
His foot is going to be fat.
Oh man, it was fat. Yeah.
Poor guy.
Wall slides, I think.
Yeah, I hope so. He's not able to walk. We get him a wheelchair through the airport.
Yeah, but camp was good. Camp for James was amazing because we have someone who's in fight camp who's fighting this week as well. So, and they're pretty similar weight, so they've been training together. When, like Tim said, when you have people training around each other, if you're having that bad day, they'll pick you up, vice versa, and the training just elevates and they train the house down, and the sharpness of everything. If both are getting sharpened, it just picks up and picks up and picks up.
Who's fighting this week?
Michaela.
Yes, where's she fighting? Tell us about it.
Yeah, so she's flying over to Queensland for the MTA Nationals.
Ooh, how exciting. And tell us just quickly before we go to Ricky, like what was one of your reasonings to go into nationals for her?
I've been nominating her since February and we've just not been able to get a fight. We've been fluctuating weight classes, nothing, and this is an option. Plus, I think she's ready. We did that. She's done some hard sparring, sparred some experienced people, and yeah, it's all come up that we've had the chat and we're willing to take it. The thing with nationals is we don't know who we're going to get matched with. If there's no one in C class, we'll be in B class. If there's no one in B class, we'll be in A class. These are things that we need to know that be ready for, and we've done it. It's an experience, and it's we're just going to roll with it.
How do you feel she's going to go?
Oh, amazing! Yeah.
Great.
I think that style and the way nationals and that style of amateur, the IFMA style tournaments will suit her.
Yeah, well, we look forward to having a recap sort of later down the line when you get back from QLD. All right, so next up we'll go to Ricky. Ricky, tell us who you had. Yeah, and what are your thoughts, preparation and feelings behind it?
We had Emma for not only her first Muay Thai fight, but the first Muay Thai fighter champions in Joondalup, which is really exciting. Thank you.
Well done, Ricky. Good job, mate.
The prep for was actually kind of like a sort of unique situation for champions, I think, where she did half her prep with Joondalup, and then Tim was nice enough to take her for the other half because we don't have a team of fighters at Joondalup just yet. Emma's the first, so she's kind of paving the way for everyone else. So that ended up her going down to Highgate an awful lot to train with their fighters, and then being welcomed with open arms into their camp. So sauna together, going through meal prep together, and all the rest of that. And then when she was up at Joondalup, it was basically getting thrashed and pushed to every limit she could by myself and Coach Dina, who's hiding in another room right now.
With that, Ricky, so with her going halfway, do you reckon was that a plus, a positive, a negative? What do you reckon? What were the challenges with that? Was it good that she had the experience and that she was with not like-minded, but people going through their first fights together. So how was that for you, especially?
I'm going to be honest, it was a wee bit of a struggle because I remember when Emma first started getting into sparring, she really would struggle to get in close. It was like, that's it, we're just going to turn you into a close range fighter. And then it started working very well. But then going to Highgate, suddenly her bag of tricks got a lot bigger, where she had to go against multiple different people, use different styles, use different tricks. And I think that was both a positive and a bit of a detriment, because she had so many things to choose from. We didn't get to focus on 2 or 3 things to be really good at. So she got good at a lot instead of being really good at a couple for her first fight. But I think overall the experience was super positive for her. She was surrounded by a lot of positivity both at Joondalup and at Highgate. So yeah, but 6-1, half dozen the other, if I'm being completely honest. But those skills that she learned from herself and from Tim, she's able to bring with her to Joondalup when our team starts building up as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And it definitely is one of those things that when you have a lot of tricks, it takes a little bit longer to develop and grow. And obviously, as coaches and leaders, it's important to find one thing that works really well for someone and develop that for that style as well, and kind of prescribe the right technique or fight style for that person. Would you guys agree?
Definitely.
Yeah.
All right, so let's dive straight into the first fight of the night, Mr. Kazuma Otori, who's one of the hardest working young Japanese samurais that we know. One thing I really admire about Kazuma from when I was coaching him is he's obviously very short in stature, but what he lacks in height, he really makes up for in courage, hard work, dedication, and just humility to his craft. Tim, talk us through it.
Talk us through what?
The fight.
The fight,
And
okay.
Kaz, if you like.
Yeah,
Up
okay.
to you. Unless I already summarised
Well,
it.
you didn't specify. So obviously Kaz made his debut earlier on in the year. Again, like for Michaela, I've just been putting his name down every fight show. Just couldn't find him a match, and he ended up having to fight someone, I think 58 kilos, when he sort of walks around at 57. So first fight didn't go his way, but he still fought pretty much exactly how I wanted to, but he didn't really get to express himself as his true fighter. So pretty much I didn't want him to change anything for this fight, and I just wanted him to fight exactly how we planned in that first one, be on the front foot, heavy hands, heavy low kicks, and he just has a way of finding the target with that overhand, which, that got him an 8 count on the night, which we worked on just basic setups for that, and I think he showed a dominating performance at closer to his natural weight class, but I still think we needed him to go down a couple kilos because, again, he didn't really cut weight. So
I think he got the record for the most overhands.
Yeah, that was
How many overhands did he throw all up?
Oh, man.
it would have been at least 30 or 40.
He honestly looks so complete this time. That, chalk and cheese to what a complete fighter, like you said, smaller, shorter, but everything he was throwing, he looked calm, he looked comfortable, and he really outclassed that boy. It was an awesome way to start the fight show.
Yeah, I love how he kept on moving forward the entire time. I think it was from around, after you'd screamed over and tore your vocal cords for the 16th time, Kaz just kept on coming forward and had the dude on the retreat the entire rest of the fight. It was awesome to see.
Yeah, that just to give you an idea of how hard he hits as well. He's only 55 kilos, and he hit me with that overhand and had me on wobbly legs the other week. So, and he's 55 kilos again. He can bench press over 100 kilos. It's nearly double his
That little
body
guy can do 100.
Yeah,
what?
so-
Bench?
Yeah, he's crazy
got
strong.
some work to do.
Crazy strong.
I want to try to beat that. I reckon I'd struggle. I recall getting hit by him, and I smelt burnt matches. It sucked. And the overhand, full bang. All right, so cool. Kaz had his fight, got a well-earned win.
Yep.
Blue Army going crazy in the corner there. Great feeling to walk out to. And then we had to wait for 10 fights until fight number 2 of 8 came on. Who was next?
Benjamin Frassel up
Ooh,
next.
the superstar, the cowboy.
Yep. I've been training Benjamin for about 6-7 months now. Most coachable person I've ever had the pleasure of training. You say something, he does it. You say something, he obsesses over it. He pulls it apart, asks you 100 questions. Super passionate about his own training. Obviously, he owns a gym as well. Runs a body transformation gym. But yeah, so first fight for him, I think he's just been training for just over a year. And after the weigh-in, we sort of noticed that he had quite a big frame compared to his opponent. He also had an age difference. So I think he was about 10 years older. So he's got that man strength compared to him. Pretty much our game plan was just impose your will. You are going to be stronger. He's athletic as fuck. And I just wanted him to, again, express himself. Because we figured that he's so athletic. He throws all this jumping stuff in the gym. I'm like, you see an opening, just do it. And he said he got about halfway through that first round. And he's like, oh, here's the opening Tim was talking about. And then he just started throwing jumping knees, Superman punches, jumping elbows. And
He did
obviously,
that jumping off the spot scissor knee into his chin.
Yeah,
I was like,
right?
where the hell did that come from?
yeah, we've only literally, he didn't even practice it once until about 2 weeks ago. He's just like a sponge. You tell him something, you teach him something, and he can just do it. Obviously, that kid came out really strong. He was actually stronger than I thought he would be.
I was going to say that. One thing I noticed when he kicked Benjamin for the first time, I was like, this kid is tough as fuck.
He was very tough.
Yeah, he's tough and he hits hard.
Yes, exactly. And he was really fast. He really took me by surprise. But then, yeah, obviously as the fight went on, Benjamin wore him away. He's so passionate about his fitness. He's got a never-ending gas tank. It might look like he's big and muscular and you think he's going to gas himself out, but in between rounds, he comes back to the corner, not even breathing hard. So he can keep that pace up for probably 5 rounds, I reckon. So I'd be excited to see what we can do with him in the future. And obviously he finished the result and got a TKO in the 3rd round.
Boom. Massive. 2 for 2. Who was next? Tim Oringa, the big dog.
Tim.
It was a great fight, man.
Man, yeah, I'd like to go back and watch it. I haven't watched it again yet. 2 up-and-coming boys.
Before you start, Tim Oringa fought Freddie Sadler, right?
Yep.
And Freddie fought James Haywood back in 2018 or 19?
And then he fought Brian from Riddlers.
Yeah, he's 3-0.
3-0.
3-0, undefeated, okay.
Yep. Essentially, in Muay Thai, it was 3-0 versus 4-0.
There you go.
Tim's only losses before that had come from boxing. Knew it was going to be one of those fights. Plus, he had a foot on Tim. Ripped, chiseled, has a beautiful, long person style.
He has the perfect body for Muay Thai, I think. Was it you and I saying?
And he uses it exactly. Good straight punches, doesn't go too much, and just big kicks and step-up knees. So we knew what we were in for. Come into it, and it kind of played out exactly. Our game plan with that was Tim was going to try stay in sort of that mid-range to close range and see what he's got. We knew that if he was in that long-range punching and kicking, he was just going to get schooled all day and smoked. So the plan was to come in but not come straight lines.
Yep.
Unfortunately, Tim got hit. First round he did pretty good.
Yeah.
It was quite even. He had the better on the outside. I think we had the better on the inside. A little bit messy, which was okay. It was probably suiting us better, it being a bit messy, roughing him up a bit. And then that second round, he got hit with that right hand and then a head kick, and then he got dropped with that right hand. Well, he was out.
Yeah. Was that a catch? Freddie caught his... No. Tim caught Freddie's kick and then threw the cross on the end of it. Very similar to Tom Gilmore drop 8 count.
Yeah.
Just long arms. Freak.
Long. And just down. He didn't move for a second. And
I thought he was out. He looked at the ceiling and the referee stood over him and I was like, he's going to wave this off. But then he got up like
just popped up.
Like the Gypsy King that time.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, he's all right. And then got kicked in the head again. Really took some punishment. And I, at the point where I was like, we need to work out a way to keep him away from Freddie's hands because they were just doing damage every shot. That jab was just making him look like a Pez toy every time he was looking at the ceiling. And I was like, so work at the end of the second round, settled him down, put in a game plan. His eyes were still there, which was good. That boy's tough.
Yeah,
tough. And he's the epitome of he will be carried out on his shield.
Yeah.
He'll go down swinging. Just kept trying. There was moments of fear from me, probably just trying to work out a way to nullify what Freddie was doing, as well as trying to impose our game plan. And then other parts where that was working, and then because Freddie's so good as well, it was just a back and forth in that 3rd round.
Yeah.
Deserving win to Freddie. It was just a great fight, really. He's all right. He's got a sore foot, sore head, but he's good. He's happy.
Lots of takeaways from the fight, and I think number one is the weight category that Tim fights naturally. He's a super middleweight, 76 kilos. This fight, he went up to 78.
78,
for the sake of getting a match, so it's almost heading into cruiserweight, right?
Yeah.
Do you think that played a factor, and do you think you'd like to see Tim? Well, I'd like to see Tim back at super middle. That's his natural weight.
Yeah, as long as we can get his diet right. I think the thing that lets him down is he likes to eat. So
Don't we all?
yeah.
Hmm.
So
I think, does he employ a nutritionist or anything like that?
No, not yet. He does a lot of research, but he also likes food.
Yeah, there's a lot out there. I think one thing we could definitely improve with is nutrition for Tim.
Yeah.
Is make sure, because sometimes people think they have to eat less to lose more, but essentially he could eat more to get more and lose more as well.
Yeah.
Get him
Just the
high
right
performance.
types. Yeah.
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 Oh,
Yeah,
good
sweet.
work for Tim, and lots of takeaways. We can come back to the drawing board, and in 3 or 4 fights time, if Freddie could make 76, I'd like to see them fight again.
Yeah. If he can, I don't. Yeah, he's lean.
He's a big boy.
And he's growing.
Yeah,
He's only 20 now.
He's built like brick shithouse. So
Yeah. So yeah, it'd be a good one in the future.
Definitely.
Definitely.
And hats off to Freddie taking the win.
Oh, for sure.
All right, who's next?
I think it was Will next day.
Yeah, Mr. Will Fung. So Will, obviously, such a gentleman. He works as a chef in his day job, and obviously, before you started coaching him, I had the pleasure of seeing him come up through the intermediate team. Very well spoken, very quietly spoken. Talk us through it, and how'd he go?
Yeah, funny backstory with Will. Like, fighting was never his intentions.
I
like,
remember. I'd always ask him if he'd get super nervous and go,
Yeah.
oh, no, maybe one
Yeah,
day."
he's like such like a nice. He's just like a nice boy. That's how you would describe him.
Nice
like
guy, yeah.
every single time I ask him if he's keen to fight yet, because like you look at him train, he's the most skillful person in that room.
He's like the Muay Thai computer.
Exactly. Like he does everything just perfectly. It just when it comes to like sparring or something competitive, that's when he can look a little bit lackluster because, from his own words, he doesn't want to hurt people. He just like loves the sport as an art.
Yeah.
So it did take a little bit of convincing. I never want to try force people into fighting. I want them to like come to that decision on their own.
Yeah.
But a few chats here and there, and then he decided one day that he'd put his hand up for it. To challenge himself, and I learnt on the weekend that he also wanted to do it for like God, because he's religious. So, sorry, I'm losing my voice a little bit. So our game plan was just, again, we wanted him to show his skill. He's never really let loose in sparring, even like when we put him on like hard sparring rounds. So just wanted him just to let his hands go, put some power in there, and just try to get the mean Will out. He came up against someone with a MMA background, so that took us a little bit off guard because it looked like the guy tried to tackle him out the ring in the first 10 seconds. But obviously Will was very strong for his weight as well. Yeah. He kept composed, and he came back strong. And I think in rounds 2 and 3 is when he really found like his stride. Yeah. And just stuck to the basics. So we wanted jab crosses, left kicks to the body, and right low kicks, and he performed well.
Yeah, I thought he did really well. The only thing that gripe that I had was his opponent was the old trick in the book, spit your mouth guard out to have a break. Mate. 3 times within one round, I said, "Ref, what are you doing?"
Spitting it out, or was he just falling out?
No, he was spitting
No,
it out,
we don't know.
sure.
We can't say that. But it kept falling out, and the referee just kept taking time to give it back. I said, "Mate, that is a tactic as old as anything that I don't think people see very often anymore."
No, it's the second time it happens, you get a warning.
Yeah.
You should. And I said to the ref, like, what's going on here? It's a good break. The poor guy's gas as well.
The thing that really surprised me when I saw was Will walks around at like 0.5% body fat. Dude is shredded at all times. So we thought I think we all thought he was going to get someone, smaller than him. Yeah. They managed to find someone the same size as him. I was like, where did they find these people? It was incredible.
I thought he rehydrated and was bigger than Will. Big frame. Big solid
not
dude.
only were they like the same size, but that they pretty much had an identical body as well. So they look like brothers. But it was a really good matchup. I think that was like the perfect match for Will. It wasn't someone too crazy because, I'd like to see him in a skillful looking fight to display his full skill set. So it was really good.
Awesome. Good win for Will Fung.
I think Emma was next.
Emma after that, I believe. All
right, so Emma Malia from Champions Gym Joondalup stepped in for her first fight representing Champions Gym.
Yeah, as I said, the prep was like a weird 50-50 between Joondalup and Highgate. Leading up to the fight, there was a lot of going back and forth of whether or not she'd get it because there was different weights thrown around, different opponents thrown around. And we put Emma's name down pretty much immediately because when she first walked through the doors of Champions Gym Joondalup, it was, a fight one day might be nice if the opportunity arises.
I made her write her goal on the blackboard and she was very dilly-dally about it. I was like, what the fuck do you want to do here?
But I think that was like maybe 2 weeks into into her
and then
career.
like now she's like
Maybe
crazy
3 weeks
into it.
after that, it was
So
like, I'm going to
committed.
fight.
Yeah,
like,
dedicated, committed, loved it.
went to 100. So the second this came up, we put her name down. And I think the first weight was 62, and Emma was walking around at 66 at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And it was, yep, cool, I'll get on it immediately. And then 3 weeks in, she's like, so, I'm getting ready for this fight, and we still don't have confirmation. I'm like, we're waiting to get back to you.
Mm-hmm.
The second I know, you'll know. And then it came back, it was like, look, 62 is not doable. So the reply was like, okay, what is doable? Because Emma wants this fight. We all want her to have this fight.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you guys feel about 63, 64? And Emma was like, I'm already there, just put my name down. Yes, we'll do it. And then it came back, it was one of the people that she used to train with.
Oh.
From Soy. So back in their diesel days, they used to know each other. So then it was going back and forth of whether they want them to step in the ring. And Emma's like, the well's so dry for fights, just please just put us in there.
Yeah.
So when we finally got confirmation of the fight, and I sent Emma a message, said, hey, look, have you got a minute? I just wanted to hear it from you in case you hear it from someone else first. And she goes, oh, yeah, sure. I called her and she was freaking out. I said, look, sometimes it just happens this way. So get ready. You've got 2 weeks. And apparently she was running laps in the back garden, so excited she finally got this fight.
That's good.
The game plan going in was, it was interesting because, as I said, we were doing 50-50 in two different places, but it was like stay on top of your checks and you've got really good hands, so get in close. Hair in the face, make her head rock back, come down with a low check, then go with the hands again.
Yeah.
And because it's her first fight, I was reminding her over and over again, don't be nice. It's not sparring. No knees to the side. Bring them straight up. If you can get in there with an elbow, smash as hard as you can, then just keep on pushing forward. And then round one started and she went and they touched gloves. And then, care what the first couple of hits were, but they were big hits. And I could kind of see Emma's face go, oh, this is what an actual fight is like. So that being said, she recovered fairly quickly. It ended up being a fairly even fight. Got swept a couple of times, unfortunately, so that looked very good on her opponent's part. But all in all, I'm quite pleased with her performance. She wasn't after the fight. Then we had a little chat, and she looked back at the fight and went, you know what? I actually looked really good in there. That was fun. And then everyone else saying to her, that was awesome, such an inspiration. I can't wait to get in there next. Like, she was on cloud nine. You'd think she would have won the way she was talking about it.
Yeah. No, I think Emma did really, really well, and it did go down to the wire. Obviously, like you said, the sweeps were one thing that kind of maybe swayed the judges, and she looked really good in the clinch. Nice straight knees, and from round one she was kind of slapping. I said stab them straight.
Yeah.
And she started doing that. Worked really well, but in a couple of fights time, I'd love to see a rematch. And
I reckon the rematch would be awesome. Like, once they've both got a bit more experience in it, it can be very technical and very powerful. I would love to see what she's capable of.
Totally. Oh well, good work, Emma, and congrats on the opponent for taking the win. Who's next?
JD.
Johnny Doan took on
Doan.
Sean Agoma from Riddler's Gym. It was a great fight. That kid there, he's tall, long. He reminds me of like a young Matt King, for those that don't know Matt King back in the day. Just a lot lengthy and rangy. Was it 3-0 before?
I think he had 2.
2-0, okay. Well,
No, he had 1 loss, so his last fight was a loss, I think.
Yep.
Yeah, I saw his last fight. Before matching JD with him, I made sure to have a look at it. And I thought he looked beatable. And man, that boy has put in some work since his last fight.
Yeah.
I thought in his last fight he looked like he sort of faded towards the end of the fight. So game plan going in, JD is a workhorse. He's always the
Cardio
fittest person in the room. So I thought, this guy's going to have maybe some skill on us, because JD's a little bit, he's got a unorthodox style. So not the cleanest looking, but it's effective. Like, I personally hate sparring him myself.
Yeah,
like, he hits me with stuff all the time
It lands.
that I feel like shouldn't be hitting me. So I thought, it will probably work on other people, but Sean. Sean, yeah. Nah, he was looking very clean on the night. Had strong clinch. JD was having a little bit of some early success, but just in those later rounds, he was taking over with the clinch, getting his head pulled down and getting kneed. So, I think he started countering a little bit better at the end, rather than putting the pressure on like I wanted. So maybe a little bit of lack of judgment, lapse of judgment in the game plan. But moving forward, obviously we have some weaknesses that we need to work on big time in the clinch. So
I think one thing I really admired from JD at the start, like we told him to circle right and chop the leg, which was working really well.
Yeah.
Like Sean was getting chopped, but also his leg was swaying.
Yeah.
But like you said, just as the rounds wore on, he found a couple of chinks in the armour, and they took advantage of that. But good fight for JD. JD, you got to take my hat off to him. He did really well considering that opponent. Like he's quality.
Yeah. Main takeaways. was he performed so much better than his first fight.
Absolutely.
He listened, which again was a big issue in his first one, and he's tough as nails. Like,
He's tough.
you're not stopping that kid.
Yeah.
You got to knock him out clean for that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well done, JD, and congrats to the opponent for getting the victory.
No, yeah, look good. Next up was Erica.
Erica. All right. Before we've got to have a bit of an intro before this. Erica has been training Muay Thai since she moved across from boxing. And obviously she's had a couple of boxing fights, done really well in that game. And I've had the pleasure of coaching her as well as yourself, Tim. Erica is a perfectionist, meaning that she wants to do well and she wants to make sure she's nailing it before she does it. And a lot of girls actually didn't want to fight Erica leading up to this fight. So I was very excited when she actually I think you told me that she had a fight. Booked and planned, and finally getting rid of the V plate. So tell us, what are the thoughts going into it?
Well, yeah, obviously, as you said, she's had some boxing fights before. That's why it was such like a struggle to find matches. So people see 8 boxing fights and it scares them, but you rack up 8 fights in boxing a lot quicker than you rack up 8 fights in Muay Thai. So it's not really something you should be afraid of. But obviously, Vera coming from the pit, I don't think they really care about people's records. So they're
Tough as nails.
They're tough. So going into it, we knew that she was southpaw. So pretty much for the last 8 weeks, we just circled moving left, throwing that right kick, throwing that right hand, just throwing everything off that right side, and making sure she actually uses Muay Thai in a Muay Thai fight, not just her boxing.
Yeah.
First round started I thought it was very uncharacteristic of Erica on the back foot, because she was, after she told me she was scared that she was going to gas out. But yeah, she was just playing off that back foot, looking for that right kick counter. She got caught a little bit in the first round, I thought. Yeah, she still looked good. Didn't look like she got hurt at all. And then in the last 2 rounds, let her hands go a little bit more. Then she was coming forward, looking like what she normally does, and just putting the pressure on.
Yeah, one thing I noticed with Erica, like I was very impressed by her performance, especially the other girl, Vera. I think she's trained in Thailand previously before coming to the pit.
Okay.
They actually sparred at the Inter Club at Maori a few months back, and I watched that sparring. I was like, okay, cool. Yeah, like that Vera's, like it's almost like they nullified each other, and I knew it was going to be a good fight. And then I watched Erica kind of back up. But what happened there when she backed up, it wasn't just backing up for nothing. She threw the right kick, which was beautiful.
Making room
and
for it.
It was just like kind of counterfighting. Sometimes I think these WA judges, especially for Muay Thai, they don't have an appreciation for people that fight on the back foot.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. They watch all these, modern day walk in and smash and dash, and in their minds they're like, if you're not walking forward, you ain't winning. But what Erica was doing was throwing that right kick, and it was beautiful through the body. Round 2, she started to punch a lot and was boxing beautifully as well, but round 2, I was like, Erica, got up in her ear, and I was like, Tim, pause for a sec. You are not going to stop her with fucking punches. They are conditioned to get the shit out of. Like, body was working the body wicked.
Yeah.
But I was like, your roundhouse kicks are so much nicer. And in that round 3, she just overran her with kicks, punches. The girl spun around a couple of times. Erica just like almost walked her down and just did what she needed to do, which was very impressive. Like, considering all the years that she's been putting into this final moment, credit to yourself and the work she's put in, especially with the team and sparring with everyone, because she's such a team player. Yeah. She did really, really well. Yeah. So well done, Erica.
She also comes in like an hour early before every session just to work that whatever she needs to work on the bag. So I wish more people could be like that, because that's how you fix those gaping holes in your plan. So
first one in, last one out.
Yeah, that's it.
Awesome. Very cool. Well done, Erica. I think by this stage, are we at fight number 7? We're at fight number 8, and by this stage, let's just paint a picture. We walked out and there was a blue army and the venue was almost empty.
And it was 12 o'clock.
It was 12 o'clock.
It was after 12, actually.
And I've promoted shows in the past, and the commission, the WA Combat Sports Commission, not happy sitting there after 11:59. You get in trouble, but that's not my discussion to talk about. But I was looking at them going...
I think, paint the picture. We had the first fight, 10th, 11th, 12th, was it? And now we're up to fight 19 of the night. So we had first and 19 out of 20
21
fights. 20 fights?
21, yeah.
20 fights, yeah. There's one that pulled out on the day.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yep. So it was a long day for us.
So Mr. James Sim taking on Skender.
What a fight. Huh? Yeah, it was a pleasure to watch, let alone coach. I think both boys, at one stage, they were yelling at each other in the ring, and it's very different because they're out the back, they're laughing and joking, and they were just, I don't know, it's one of those fights where it was just great to watch. James fought really, really well. I mean, so did Iskander, but it was a battle of
Both undefeated, right?
No, Iskander's lost. So Iskander's 6 fights, 4 wins.
6 fights.
Going into that fight, he just
Wow.
fought on Roots
Oh, yeah.
a couple of weeks ago in Melbourne. Quality opponent. We took a step up. We knew what we were getting into.
And how many James fought?
For 3 fights. 3 fights, 3
Half the
wins.
experience.
Half the experience. We took a step up. We call him Mr. Hollywood for a reason. And if you watch his fights, you can see jumping kicks, flying stuff, spinning stuff. But he's becoming more and more of a Muay Thai fighter.
Yeah.
And that's what we've seen. A few of the things we had to work on. We're fighting a counter fighter who really, he's orthodox but loves to fire off his left side. So he does these little step backs and step through left kicks. And every time first round, I think we did really well. To be honest, I think we won that round. It was very close. Any round could have gone either way.
Yeah.
I think there was a kick or one solid shot, the difference in every round
Yeah.
and in the whole fight. But as a battle of a counter fighter, he was absorbing James's shots and paying back.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably where it was, that payback kick. When he had an answer for it, some beautiful dumps, beautiful clean shots, and was just not catching. Like every time he threw, he wasn't grounded enough to be able to either get out of the way or make him pay with a defense of that shot.
Well, when we look at the first round, I think it was James played perfectly into the game plan of catching the kick. And you saw he went to sweep Skender, and Skender is a very, very athletic boy. Every time James went to sweep him, he jumped straight over it, to the point where James then had to turn his hip to be able to get the body weight off centre and broke his posture.
That's
The
a
Liam
good
Harrison
point.
one?
Yeah. So we tried. It's one thing that, because we did a lot of sweep work and a lot of work. Being shorter, and Iskander's 6 foot.
He's a
find
tall
that
kid,
between
long
59
limbs.
to 61 kilos.
Big
So
boy.
It's just built like a beanpole. You know?
He's got the Muay Thai body.
Yeah, for sure. And missed the shot, and then would just bit of a rough turn the body and just get him off balance, and just showed some dominance.
Yeah.
He might not have scored with damage, but with dominance.
And control, I thought.
It looked really, really good, really composed. He was fighting outside of a 3-fight style. Like he fought
100%.
really, really well.
At one point in that fight, I sat there and I thought to myself, this could be one day a perfect fairy tale state title fight between these two boys, because you've got this guy who is shorter and you've got this guy who's taller. Reminding a lot of myself against these guys when in my fighting days, and it's like, it is hard fighting a tall fucking person. And I watched that Iskender kid last time walk through this kid. And I was a bit like, oh, Brian, this is going to be a hard fight.
Yeah.
This kid is good. This kid is like a bright future. But James, I know how hard he works, and he brings an X factor of confidence, and he's not afraid to like stand toe to toe, in which he did. And I was like, this
exactly.
is an epic fairy tale one day.
Yeah, it's
rematch.
going to be good. He's very tough, and he's just maturing into his fight career.
Yeah.
And that's why we're pretty confident. Like, we had the conversation, I had the conversation with you. It was one of those ones where we were never supposed to come close. If you look on paper, yeah, he's 3-0, but Iskander's good, Iskander's experienced, Iskander's flying interstate to fight now. He's at that level, and I think James showed that he can rival those boys at that level now.
Yeah, totally.
But yeah, I was happy with his performance.
Yeah.
Last round, I think he just didn't have an answer for that counter left kick. Just kept wearing it, and obviously in Muay Thai, it's not like kickboxing where if it catches on the arm in kickboxing, it's a block, even though it does damage. Baffles me, but anyway, that shot was just landing, and if his shots were landing on the gloves, and then that counter shot, we just probably went to the well too many times on a few things. And his shots were being nullified, and then that beautiful kick afterwards from Iskander probably was the difference in the fight.
Yeah, absolutely.
But once again, I'd love to see a rematch in a few fights with those boys. I think it's going to happen. I think
the belt
everyone
up on the
wants
line.
to see that. Yeah.
Yeah, those two boys, I believe, would be worthy, provided they can keep showing the results in the upcoming fights for both of them. So,
Yeah, for sure.
great fight for James. Anything anyone wants to add?
Oh, it's just, to be honest, I think the other things that the people don't see is it's the other people that weren't here that were helping as well. All the cornermen, all the people, like, it was just seamless out the back. I've seen it with less people fighting be in shambles. Things go missing, running out the back because we haven't communicated and there's been no head guard or all these things. Everyone knew their role, did their role, and was supportive if anything else needed. So it was really, really good to see that as the team is growing, everyone's stepping up and doing the little things that are needed to get it done, to the point where us as head coaches can almost step back at times and look from the outside and really see and then work towards those game plans because we're not having to do every single thing.
Yeah, symbiosis between team members is definitely something that I really, when I zoom out and look at everyone did their part and played their part well. Obviously for us as coaches, I think there's a couple of things that we can sit down and discuss, go back to the drawing board moving forward. Yeah. 4 wins, 4 losses. I'm never a guy to kind of summarise the overall result because they're all individual efforts, which is important. But I'm very, very proud of every single one of those warriors that got in the ring. You know, I was talking before, when we select our fighters, it's got to be courage, bravery, it's got to be hard work, you'll be resilient, you'll be willing to never give up, you know, and I think every one of those people showed that. I would like to take the moment to thank every single one of the people that weren't shown on the day. So whether, you know, strength conditioning coaches, the boxing coaches, just the community support, the girls at reception even, you know, like there's so much that goes on behind the scenes that people don't see, and they see these fighters up in the ring. But the thing is, these people also lead normal everyday lives. They work in their jobs. It's not something they do as a job. They do this out of pure passion. And one thing I really admire is that these people are so committed to our leadership and our focus of where we want them to get to because they have potential, and it's something that they will treasure for life. And I would really like to see every single one of those people back in there as soon as possible.
Definitely. And also a big thanks to their teammates as well. The guys that come in and know they're about to get thrown around for 6 weeks.
Yep.
Just to help these guys and get them ready. I mean, we're pretty open about that is your pathway anyway, and they'll do it for you. As soon as someone's matched, it's good to see everyone, even if they had other stuff to do, show their support and help these guys get ready.
And obviously we wouldn't be anything without the Blue Army. So one thing that, you know, obviously we stand out from the crowd, everyone wears a lot of black, and our team wears a lot of blue. I have to take my hat off to every single one of the people that showed up in support of these people, maybe hoping to see what it's all about, maybe hoping to be a little bit inspired. But I hope you were all inspired and got to see you know, some great Muay Thai on the show, and also some great lessons from some great coaches put into play in the centre ring. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
So this has been another episode of Inside CG, the recap from Road to Legends. I hope you've all enjoyed listening to the insight from some of our great coaches who have a lot of experience in the game. If you've got a chance to recap and watch some of the fights, they may be online very shortly. But if you'd like to hear anything more in terms of subjects, inside the minds of some of these great coaches sit before me, be sure to comment or shoot us a message, and we'll be glad to chat about it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Oh, where can we find you? At
Champions and
at Coach Ricky.
Oh yeah, at Coach Ricky on Instagram. Yeah.
At Pamon Mark D.
At Tim Levens, I think.
At Life with Brian.
Some underscores are in there.
Yeah, just search.
I'm a Monty Python fan. So
there we go. Thanks for listening, people.